Good morning, friends. So we are going to close read pages 20 and 21 for more than anything else. First, yesterday we read the whole book, right? But today we're not going to read the whole book. We're going to only narrow in and close read carefully pages 20 and 21 from our book more than anything else. So that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to review our learning target and what to expect from the lesson. So today we can explain how the central message, that's an important word. What does central message mean? What do we remember what central message or the lesson means from the text? You have some thinking time. What does the central message mean? Wendell? If you remember what gist means, that'll help you out with what the central message means. Wendell, want to try again? Gist. Think of gist. What does gist mean? What the text is mostly about. Awesome. So the central message is also the lesson the author wants us to know, right? A lesson like Booker. What did we learn about Booker? The lesson that we learned about reading Booker. What was the lesson we learned? Review of yesterday. Leah.
The solution and we
Before the solution, we learned about Booker's challenge, right? So challenge is our lesson. What are we learning? We're going to be close reading pages 20 and 21 of More Than Anything Else. And we will focus in on the details within our text to help us come up with the lesson that the author wants us to know, right? So that's what we're going to be doing today. So first, you have your anchor charts out from yesterday. I want you to first think about what partner is going to go first in sharing what this text that we read yesterday is about. So with your partners, discuss which partner wants to go first in sharing what the text we read more than anything else is about. With your partners next to you, in front of you, discuss which partner is going to go first in sharing what the text is mostly about. You can use your graphic organizer. All right. So raise your hand if you're partner A. Raise your hand if you're partner A. So that means you're going first. Raise your hand if you're partner A. That means you're going first. All right. Oh, Isaac and Liam, I see 2 hands up. Who's going first? Oh, question? It's a typo. Boo-boo. Partner A is going to go first, and then after partner A is done sharing, partner B is going to go second, all right? So partner A, hands up. Go. Share what the text is mostly about. Alright, 3, 2, 1.
I'm doing it.
Alright, partner B, get ready to share and start sharing. Partner B, share what the text is mostly about yesterday. Use your organizers.
I know you know about
Three, two, one.
I
All right. Thank you for sharing with your partners. We're going to move on. So this is the cover more than anything else. I know we didn't have the physical copy yesterday, but we have it today more than anything else. So you can actually see the picture. So before we get into our reading, I want to go over the close reading tips that we have that we're going to do with these paragraphs that we're going to read. So each of you are going to get a different text. Spanish speakers, you're going to get this amplified text, and then the rest of you are going to get your paragraphs that look like this, all right? Don't do anything with the worksheets yet. I'm going to go over it together with you. Yes, you can put your name on the paper. Luis, you're going to have an amplified version. We're on this page. You're going to be on this page. Angelica. So, let's have our eyes up here, and then let's get ready to review our close reading steps. We've been practicing this all in our small group times, right? Whenever we find main ideas, supporting details, we're always putting our numbered paragraphs for each paragraph. So for close reading, we want to make sure we're numbering our paragraphs. We also want to make sure we're chunking the text. So we're writing our lines underneath each paragraph after numbering them. We're taking Google Notes, so we're going to be taking Google Notes today. We're also going to be underlining and highlighting important details in our text to help us with our central message, right? We can't find the central message unless we know the details that help us find that central message or lesson of the story. So those are close reading tips. Now, some of you have the amplified version, so you're going to follow along just like up here. So I'm going to number my paragraphs first. So I'm going to number, this is paragraph 1, after work. Right? I know some of you guys have it cut off, but so we're going to have number 1. After work is paragraph number 1. I draw the marks as paragraph number 2. Paragraph number 3, but sometimes. Paragraph number 4, I can't. And in paragraph number 5, I have. And our chunking lines, remember, we're going to draw a line all the way across. Draw this line all the way across. Sorry, my line isn't straight. Oh, there's a curve there. Doesn't have to be straight, but at least try, you know? I can't catch the tune. And then I have to find him. So those are our 5 paragraphs. We're gonna start chunking. We did the chunking. So after each paragraph, please, we're going to draw the line, right? So draw a line. Yep, draw a line. Like that. Carolyn, up there. Go through my lines after each paragraph. Uh-oh, window. Is this cool? All right. I love seeing everyone drawing their lines after numbering their paragraphs. Yeah, you draw your line down. All right, so I'm going to start reading. Our pages for today. And I want to closely read our words because I need to be writing my Google Notes, right? So while I'm reading, I want to be writing Google Notes of important details in my text. So that helps me with this lesson of the story. So I want you guys to turn. It should be page in your workbooks. Reading workbooks. Yes, your purple workbooks. Turn to page 69. Turn to page 69. It should look like this. It's a note catcher that looks like this. It has details from the text on the left. And how does it help communicate the lesson from the right? I love seeing those thumbs showing me that you're ready for the next step. Thank you. So it should be page 69 in your workbook. Because when I'm finding the details, I also want you to write down those details in your note catcher. All right? Yes. Carolyn, Stacy, all right. Thank you for helping her, ladies. All right. Thank you, ladies. Thanks for helping your classmate out. All right, so I'm going to read page 20. I want to make sure that everyone has their eyes on me. So 3, 2, 1. Let's try it again. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, so first, this is page 20 of our book. So if you have your text in front of you, you can be following along. This is the image we have on page 20. So I'm going to first read the first paragraph. After work, even though my shoulders still ache and my legs are stained with salt, I study my book. I stare at the marks and try to imagine their song. All right? I don't have one. So I'm going to flip to where I have my paragraphs up here so you can see as well. After work, even though my shoulders still ache and my legs are stained with salt, I study my book. I stare at the marks and try to imagine their song. So I'm going to underline an important sentence in this paragraph. So I'm going to underline, even though my shoulders ache. And I study my book. All right? Even though my shoulders still ache I study my book. Those are the two sentences I'm going to underline. Because it tells me that Booker, even though Booker is tired, he still studies his book. Remember, the character of our story is Booker, if you can see in the image too, the picture on this book. I love seeing everyone underlining the important details. All right, so I'm going to put my Google note right here, and I'm going to say, Booker is tired. He's tired. But he still reads, right? He still reads even though he's tired. But he still reads. So that will be my Google note for my first detail.
Oh, Holland.
He is tired, but he still reads. And we know that he's tired because of what? What does he do every morning and every day that we don't usually do? What does he do every morning and every day that we don't usually do? Ivana? What does Booker do every morning and every day, even though he works? Did I say? Yeah, he works every morning. Where does he work? Where does he work? Isaac. Yes, at the salt mine. So even though he's tired, Booker still chooses to read.
Is that a one?
Is what?
Right there. Even though
Still 8.
no, that after next
I don't think you're talking about Aaron's sentence. So I also want to underline marks. I stare at the marks because and try to imagine their song because what does marks mean? I don't know what marks means, but I'm thinking because he's reading his book, that it's words in the book, right? Based off of what we know from the picture, isn't Booker sitting beside a candlelight? He's sitting beside a candlelight. What is he holding? What is he holding? Window.
a book.
A book. So we know that the marks, I stare at the marks, he's trying to read, right? He's trying to read his book. So that's why that supporting detail is even though he's tired, he still tries to read. That's important. Now I'm going to write that marks is basically the words, right? Words in the book. We don't usually see marks as what words mean, but the marks in the book are the words. The marks in the book are the words. Awesome. Good job, Angel. All right, guys, so we are doing both. We're both underlining what's the supporting detail in our text, and then we are also writing our Google Notes. So those Google Notes should be either above the paragraph you numbered or in the box that we're reading. Yes. They can be on the side if you don't have room. So sorry I didn't make that clear, but we are doing our Google Notes as well. All right. So we're going to move on to our next page. And for you guys, it's the next paragraph. Paragraph 2. Oh, and before we move on, we're going to ask ourselves these questions. Well, so what is the challenge that Booker here is dealing with? What is the challenge? From the details that we just noted, what is the challenge that that Booker has to deal with here? Josue.
The challenge is the dog.
Oh, because he works? What happens when he works every day and every morning?
He gets tired.
He gets tired. Great. What else? He gets tired. But what else does he persevere to do? What does he still do even though he's tired? Destiny. He still reads, right? Okay, we already answered those questions. Let's see. Yeah, and what words help us understand that? We underlined some. So what words help us understand that he's working and he gets tired? Amelia.
My shoulders ache and my legs are
Stained
with salt. Stained with salt.
with salt. Awesome. So my shoulders ache and my legs are stained with salt. Good detail. That tells us he's tired, right? Yeah. But what else in that paragraph helps us understand that he's struggling? What else does he do that shows us that he's struggling? I still study the book. So even though he's super tired from the day, he still studies his book. So I study my book is the detail for that. All right. So how does this connect with the lesson that we've been talking about? How does these details connect to the lesson we've been talking about with Booker? Wendell. So first, what was the challenge that Booker is dealing with? Work and not being able to what? Read. So he can't read because of work. So how does that connect with our lesson of the story? What is our lesson? Is it? What do you think the lesson is that we learned from Booker? The challenge and his challenge to learn how to read. So how does this help us know that the challenge is learning how to read? How does this paragraph let us know the challenge is learning how to read? Sierra. Yes, staring at the book and the marks, the words, because he doesn't know how to read. Davey? Oh, was that you? No? You had something to say? So we're going to go to our second paragraph. It starts with "and my thoughts." So find that paragraph. And we're going to start reading and taking our Google Notes after underlining our details. And my thoughts are slippery. It should be but sometimes. Paragraph 2, sorry. I draw the marks on the. Is this on it? Did I skip one? I skip one?
No. Wait, that's in the middle of paragraph 3.
Yeah, this is in the middle of paragraph 3. So let's get to the middle of paragraph 3, since that's the slide we're on. Yeah, but sometimes I feel like, and then that's where it starts off, and my thoughts get slippery. Raise your hand if you're confused as to where we're at. All right, so it should be, but sometimes I feel like I'm trying to, thoughts get slippery. So it should be your third paragraph, second sentence, third paragraph. Yep. The second sentence, third paragraph. Second sentence, third paragraph. All right. So, but sometimes I feel I'm trying to jump without legs, and my thoughts get slippery, and I can't keep up with what I want to be, and how good I will feel when I learn this magic, and how people will look up to me. So, and my thoughts get slippery, and I can't keep up with what I want to be, and how good I will feel when I learn this magic, and how people will look up to me. So that's our third paragraph, second sentence. So when my thoughts get slippery, slippery doesn't really mean what it literally means. It just means that sometimes your thoughts get jumbled up and you get confused, right? So sometimes when you don't know how to do something, your thoughts might be all over the place and you're just like, oh, you're concerned about not knowing that detail, right? So slippery, I'm going to underline that and just say confused, like we don't know. We don't know this word as well, but we're going to just say slippery is confused. Confused. And we're writing this here. So we're just highlighting words we might not know, and we're writing this here. Slippery. I love seeing people writing their Google Notes on the side or on the bottom of their papers. If you don't have room, you can always use the bottom of your paper. Right here. All right. I'm also going to learn. I'm also going to underline my next detail, and I'm going to underline how good I will feel when I learn this magic. So from our previous paragraph, we know that Booker is trying to read, right? And that's how he wants to attain his goal, is that he wants to learn how to read. So when he does learn how to read, what is he going to feel? When he does learn how to read, what is he going to feel? What feelings will he feel when he learns how to read? Happy, I heard happy. Magic is like happy, right? Huh? Not sad. He might feel sad that he doesn't know how to read now, but he's going to get happy when he learns how to read, right? So we're going to write that as our next Google note. So, Booker will feel happy when he learns how to read. Read. All right.
I'm upset because he's gonna keep looking every time.
But it says our detail, remember guys, our detail says how good I will feel when I learn this magic. So Booker is saying that he's going to feel good when he learns how to read, right? So from our detail, that's what we're pulling out for our Google note, because our Google note is going to explain what the paragraph is. So if someone were to read our Google note, they would understand right away what that paragraph is about, right? Good. Awesome job. I love how everyone is trying their best to write in their Google Notes in their amplified text and their paragraphs. All right. Now let's see if we have any more. Okay, any more questions? Yeah, so we already went over this, but why did they use magic in this paragraph? Why did they use magic in this paragraph? Were they trying to explain something with the word magic? Didn't we say that it stood for something else? Right? We can relate magic to what? Let's think. We can relate magic to Luis? Yes, happy, feeling happy. What else? Blue? Words, reading, right? So yeah, magic can connect to reading as well. And feeling happy to be able to read. Oops, sorry. Yep. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next. And how does this connect to our message? Being able to read. How does this connect to our message? Lesson of the story. How does this paragraph connect to our lesson? Remember, our lesson is being able to read and never giving up, right? Never giving up on our challenges. So how does that connect with our challenge in this story? Doesn't it tell us that after being able to learn how to read, you're going to get happy? So overcoming that challenge is going to make you happy. It's going to make you feel confident in yourselves, right? All right. So we're going to move on to our next paragraph. I wonder if it's the one that I'm looking for. And how people will look up to me. So, up. And how people will look up to me is the last sentence of that paragraph. It's the last sentence of that paragraph. So how people will look up to me. When people look up to you, what does that mean? When people look up to you, what does that mean? If you look up to someone like a sibling or parent, what does looking up to them mean? Erin?
Did you really care about them?
You really care about them? Yeah. And Isaac?
They trust you or count on you?
Yep, they trust you and count on you. Don't you want to also be like them? You want to learn from them. So those important people in your life that you look up to, you want to learn from them. So what does this tell us about what Booker wants to do?
He wants to learn.
He wants to learn, and then after learning, what does he want to do?
Read.
Read? Isn't he going to teach? What is he going to teach other people to do?
Read.
What is he going to teach other people to do?
Oh, I know.
One down.
You don't teach people how to read.
Who's going to teach other people how to read, right? So after you learn your skill, you can also teach other people how to do that exact same skill that you are good at, right? So Booker will teach others. So this note, guys, is still going to be in paragraph 3 because it's the last sentence in paragraph 3. And people will look up to me. Notice how this is always, these paragraphs are always tying back to our lesson. Our lesson is to never give up when challenges are present in our lives, right?
Yes.
So Booker is showing us that we should not give up, even though things are hard and we might not have time, but never give up. And always do what? If you can't do something, you always have to. It's okay to ask for help.
Or keep deeper with the person.
Yes, that's a very special. All right. Okay, moving on. So I can't catch the tune. Let me see. I can't catch the tune should be paragraph 4. So get to paragraph 4. What's that? What's that? Paragraph 4. All right. So I can't catch the tune of what I see. I get a salt shoveling pain and feel my dreams are slipping away. I can't catch the tune of what I see. I get a salt shoveling pain and feel my dreams are slipping away. Oh no. What does Booker feel here? What do we learn that Booker feels? I can't catch the tune, but my thoughts are slipping away. The salt shoveling pain I feel makes me feel like things are slipping away. Luis.
Sad.
Sad. Yes, sad. What else? What feelings do we feel when we read this sentence? Isaac.
Not confident.
Not confident. Awesome. I love those words. Sad, not confident. What else? Danaya.
Very sad.
Being sad.
Very.
Very sad. Amelia.
He's giving up.
He's giving up. He's about to give up, right? Oh no, you can't give up. We can't give up. We can't ever give up. So we're going to underline. I can't catch the tune. Because that means when he's reading, he can't read yet, right? I can't catch the tune. And I get a salt shoveling pain and feel my dreams are slipping away. When we underline that detail, we're going to write that Booker is about to give up. He can't read. Booker. He wants to give up, right? Booker wants to give up. And he is sad. We have talked about that. Because that's how we felt when we read this paragraph. We relate to Booker because we don't want him to give up. We believe in him, right? Awesome. I see some thumbs up. Signal you're done. Good job. All right. And we're going to go through the same thing. How does this relate to our lesson? What was the lesson we were talking about that Booker is teaching us? How does this paragraph connect to our lesson? What we just read. Justin. So he taught us never to give up, but he's about to give up, right? He thinks about giving up. There are times where we also think about giving up, right? Naya, want to add something? Is it?
When he came, he asked for help.
Yeah, so if he can't feel confident in himself, he's going to ask for help, right? So that's what we're going to read about next. You just guessed what we're going to read about next. So your next paragraph should start with I have got to find him, that newspaper man. So he actually asks for help because he knows that he can't do this by himself, right? So when we underline this sentence, we're going to underline, we've got to find him, that newspaper man. He asks, and this is going to be our Google note when you're done underlining. He asks, newspaper man. For help. He asks help from his newspaper. He asks for help. All right, guys, I'm seeing some thumbs up. Awesome. And that connects to our lesson because how does asking for help connect to our lesson? How does it connect to our lesson? Josue? How does asking for help connect to our lesson? Is in our lesson one of the, it's okay to ask for help? If you don't know something, it's okay to ask for help. Because in your own lives too, you're going to ask for help when you're confused about something, right? But it is okay. That's how you learn, and that's how you grow. Yeah, the challenge, learning challenge. So Booker, what was the challenge that Booker had? What was the challenge that Booker had? You can tell me what the challenge Booker had. The challenge. Ooh, a lot of hands. All right. Blue, what was the challenge that Booker had? It's okay. Can someone help Blue out? Luis? Challenge. So no time to read, right? The challenge was Booker didn't know how to read. Booker could not read, right? And how did Booker overcome the challenge? How did Booker overcome the challenge? Wendell?
He found a man.
He found the newspaper man, right? He asked for help. He asked for help, right? What else did he do? What else did he do that we learned today? Amelia.
He never gave up on trying to learn how to read.
Yeah, he never gave up. So how did he never give up? Didn't he practice reading too? We saw him practice to read. So he practiced to read, right? All right, so that's what we went over today. We close read pages 20 and 21. and we went through those details to help us with our lesson. So that's it. Thank you. Put your text and graphic organizers back in your